Here.
Lark.
Here.
Breckenberg.
Here.
Swallow. Here. Bowman.
Here.
Parsons.
Here.
Ferris.
Here.
Adair.
Here. Item 4 is discussion and action to approve City of Alva Ordinance 2025-006, an ordinance of the City of Alva, Oklahoma pertaining to alcoholic beverages on public property by adding Article 7 under Chapter 4, Alcoholic Beverages, titled Alcoholic Beverages on Public Property, providing for severability. This has come about with multiple requests, and I'm probably certain that many of you have had other people ask you about being able to have alcohol at events and things in the community, where up until whatever we do here today, it has been prohibited by state law. But if we pass a local ordinance declaring, well, basically, Drew, jump in here if you need to. But basically, we set the guardrails up for when and how we allow events to have alcohol. This does pertain to making sure people are properly licensed to sell alcohol. It also does not do anything to change any of the laws about public intoxication or DUIs or anything like that. It just permits people to drink responsibly at local events when they have a permit to do so.
So for example, like we've got the car show coming up. If they apply for this permit, they can, they would mark the area they want, and that'd have to be approved, but thought would be the downtown area, and they would be allowed to have open containers within that area during the event. And then there are provisions for if someone wanted to come and set up to sell alcohol, they'd have to have the proper permitting to be able to do that, but they could do that and apply for a permit through Alva as well. And this was, I reached out to several. There's a listserv. I can reach out to other city attorneys to see if anybody else had something similar. I didn't get any responses. Stillwater reached out, asked if I got any responses, and they did some research and spoke with Abel on this and pointed me in the direction of Lawton, this is a very similar ordinance that Lawton passed, just tailored to Alva.
Any discussion?
What is the process to get, let's just say the car show, what do they have to do?
So by this ordinance, they have to have permission from the mayor or business manager.
So they can just walk in next day, somebody says yes.
We will
sure you sign something.
likely create an internal process that better defines it, but because of the car show in particular coming up and the opportunities that would be present for the community with that, right now, if I understand correctly, without having any procedures in place, it's just written authorization from either the mayor or the...
And paying the
$50
event fee, which was something
special event occupation tax.
Yes, and that was already on our books, and so they have to pay that. And that's I think for that it's a per day thing.
Okay, now you said the Able thing, like if the brewery or the office, they're not necessarily coming to set up as vendors, they're already down here, so they have to do that?
Someone needs...
That's more on them to find out.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Drew. Does this permit the city to issue the temporary zoning without a request? Can the mayor or the manager request for events that we know are going on?
I think so. I think the city can do that on its own. And in fact, I think there's a provision in here. Let me see where that was. It talks about events sponsored or co-sponsored by the City of Alva.
Paragraph D.
Yeah, paragraph D. By the City of Alva, any properties listed in paragraph C, which is an open-ended thing, shall not be required to pay a special event tax. So I think that encompasses the city having events as well.
So car show in particular, with that receiving funding support from the tourism committee, would count as a municipal event by which we can forego the fee. Correct?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Any other discussion?
So you said bring in local vendor, or I know you said local, but vendors to sell. Who's going to approve that? You guys as well? What vendors can?
There's
sell?
already a process for, because I think we approved that last year or the year before, a process for business licenses
For truck permits?
for food trucks or other
Okay.
non-permanent vendors.
Okay.
They'd still have to follow those rules. They'd still have to comply with Able Commission, all their rules. And this doesn't change any of that.
Okay.
But this is similar, I mean, I'm sure you got everybody probably been, Oklahoma City or something where they have people outside in the public to be able to do it. So I think this is the intent of this, is to allow for that to happen, just possible to bring more people to events that are interested in that, so. And with an ordinance, we would need a majority of all members to vote yes to approve an ordinance, and then a 3/4 majority on the emergency part of that.
The emergency part, and you won't see us do this very often, the emergency, one of the provisions in order to have it pass as an emergency clause is that there's a public good aspect of it. And with the event coming up and the anticipated public good that would be had from having this in place.
What do you consider the public good be?
Well, I'm going to say that it would be good for sales tax generations in the community, more so than if not.
Was there any language on the containers put in there?
Open, whatever class, we didn't change the
Well,
definition.
no, I'm just referring to red soda cups, so to speak.
The way this is written is, it doesn't have to be in a solo cup. I mean, you could have just a, can of beer or something,
Fifth of vodka.
Like I said, there's public intox laws that, that the city has, county has. Those are all still, this isn't taking those away. So if someone is out of control, they can be arrested for that. This isn't a ordinance allowing anybody to go and get hammered. It's be doing it responsibly, and if you don't, then you still got to follow all the other laws of the Alva and the county and state.
I do think that people that want to drink no matter what, they're going to do it. So they hide it. The people that hide their alcohol are going to drink less than if they're able to just willy-nilly with alcohol all day long. You have $100,000 vehicles out there. I'm not game for too many people getting too drunk in that situation. Like I say, people that hide it will drink less than if they're allowed to carry a fifth of vodka around the square.
I don't think it's just going to be like a Tuesday evening. You can go do this, like if we ever have a St. Patty's Day Festival or the car show or those big events, because we just had the Tacoma 3rd of July, and stuff gets pretty rowdy in Tacoma. And we had Cody come down and sell beer. It was no rowdier. Nobody got out of hand. And if they were going to, it would have happened there. And I saw everybody acting fairly responsible.
I share the concern about we are not stating that we want to turn into the Wild West with, any of the consumption. This just basically makes it not illegal for responsible consumption to occur in the public spaces. Responsible consumption is still what we're...
And still oversight from the city by, if there's going to be a zone or a place where that's allowed, they have to go through the city to do that.
But But no, I don't want a bunch of drunks, driving crazy through the car show. And this does, however, make it legal for responsible consumption.
So the people that are in like the road, the Woe and Go and all of that, are we gonna make sure they're not driving drunk?
Well,
Yeah, I would hope so.
I-
But that's another thing, that adds to it.
do we do that now?
Well, I'm sure, I don't know, we've never had that before, but
well,
That would fall.
it's
know,
never been
that's when-
illegal for somebody to spend all afternoon at the office bar and then go participate in the burnout.
but-
I mean, it's always been illegal for that to happen. I think I heard
Separate
But there's no way to
that just
monitor.
adds to that we have to really watch for that night.
I think probably,
We're gonna,
probably law enforcement's looking for that anyway.
well, not always, to the depth that they will maybe.
Well, and if it creates more presence, that doesn't bother me any.
I think they were pretty active the other night.
Mhm.
I don't mind a higher presence for ensuring that people are behaving properly. And if this ordinance does that, I mean, that doesn't bother
So
me.
how does this affect the area around the courthouse? Because is that considered, that's not considered city, is it?
Sidewalk is, I would guess, and after that it's county.
I mean, so how's that
That's
gonna
gonna
affect?
fall on whoever gets the permit.
So it would fall on whoever gets the permit.
And they may have to go seek approval if they're using the courthouse lawn. They may have to go to the board of commissioners for that.
Now, if we approve this and we have it for 6 months and it makes things, I don't think it will, but say it does make things worse and it's a disaster, there's nothing that would keep us from going back and saying, this was a bad idea, let's toss it,
Just
correct?
be changing it, yeah.
So,
Correct. Just the same process that goes on the books, the same process that comes off the books.
That's not the publisher.
What constitutes the city having a sponsorship? For instance, if there were a parade downtown and the city allows the streets to be blocked off, is that a sponsorship of the event? Or how's that defined?
Just allowing an entity to have the streets closed does not necessarily entail a sponsored event.
Public safety.
I think in that scenario, Northwestern probably has to apply for the permit, but like I said, it's a $50 a day permit. And I think we could, as part of the permit process, we're having an event from here, time start to time finish, and limited in scope to that time. Like I said, I think that'll probably more come from the internal controls that'll be developed.
I think from the standpoint of the organization Race and the car show, Race would have some say in that. I think from the conversation of Northwestern having a parade, I think Northwestern would have some say in that. This ordinance says it's not prohibited if the proper permits are in place.
Okay, what if I wanted to have some sort of reunion or something and I just applied for a permit?
Well, that was the question I think you actually got quite a bit with the school reunion, is people wanted to be able to do something out of like the rec park.
There was a class that wanted to have some alcohol out at the rec park, and that was prohibited. I could see potentially, the Parks and Rec Board having some parameters that they put in place that are maybe policy driven, that still, meet the letter of the ordinance we passed, but they might say, no glass bottles, or we could even specify that depending on the event, no glass bottles. The ordinance leaves it open to where we can, by policy, be more specific. Correct?
Right, yeah, this is kind of a starting point, and then policies will be generated from it.
Any further discussion? I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 4 as stated in the agenda.
Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Hoffman, a second by Dr. Lahr to approve City of Alva Ordinance 2025-006, ordinance of the City of Alva, Oklahoma pertaining to alcoholic beverages on public property by adding Article 7 under Chapter 4 Alcoholic Beverages titled Alcoholic Beverages on Public Property, providing for severability. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Hoffman.
Yes.
Lahr.
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Parsons.
Yes.
Ferris.
No.
Krickenberg.
Yes.
Swallow.
No.
Adair.
Yes.
All right. Motion passes. Item 5 is discussion and action to declare ordinance 2025-006 passed as an emergency for the reason that public events are taking place in the near future and that for the public good of the community and drawing an increased number of people that would benefit the community as a whole, it is necessary to pass said ordinance as an emergency.
I guess I still don't understand that as an emergency for the good of the people.
What are the requirements for an emergency are?
Well, I think the one that this would fall under is the public good part of that.
So,
And I think the argument for the city is that by allowing this and passing this as emergency with these events that are coming in the future, because this ordinance would not take effect unless passed under emergency for 30 days after it's been published in the newspaper. And so that would, for example, the car show would come and go before this actually got approved and was law. And you could miss out on potential tax dollars of people that want to come to that event.
So do we think that we're going to lose a lot of money or not get a lot of money by not having alcohol on the streets?
I just think that we're, I mean, if you
We're
go to
trying
any,
to go to the future. We're college
yeah,
now.
if you go to any big city and even cities 20, 30,000 population with college towns and stuff, they do these events downtown. They allow people to have alcohol. I just think we're 30 years behind on doing it. So, I do think it will, as bad as we want to say that, I think alcohol does drive people going out and doing stuff.
So next, anybody with a medical card, can we smoke a joint walking down the...
I think state law prohibits that, and I don't think there's any provisions for local. I haven't looked at it. I won't speak on it.
Okay, I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to see where we're going.
We're not going anywhere other than alcohol right now. That's all this is about, is open containers of alcohol.
I'll make a motion to declare ordinance 2506 pass as an emergency for the reason public events taking place in the near future.
Second.
Have a motion from Mr. Bowman, a second from Mr. Hoffman to declare ordinance 2025-006 passed as an emergency for the reason that public events take place in the near future and the public good of the community and drawing an increased number of people that would benefit the community as a whole. It is necessary to pass that ordinance as an emergency. Is there any further discussion? Please call the vote.
Bowman.
Yes.
Hoffman.
Yes.
Adair.
Yes.
Lahr.
Yes.
Swallow.
No.
Krickenberg.
Yes.
Ferris.
No.
Parsons.
Yes.
The motion carries. That's all we have for City Council, so we will adjourn. We won't call to order the Economic Development Authority special meeting. the resolutions and items for consideration need further review. Drew caught some stuff that needs further review, so